We're tight on cash. I hear this constantly from founders doing a million, 2 million, 10 million, usually from founders sitting on 150K of inventory. You're not cash poor, you're inventory rich. And there's a difference. And understanding that difference is the key to getting your money back. In this video, I'm going to reframe how you think about inventory and show you exactly where your cash is hiding. We're going to do the math together, and I'm going to walk you through the 3 inventory traps that are killing your cash flow. And at the end, I'll give you a 30-minute weekend audit you can do this Saturday to find the money you didn't know you had. Now, let's get into it. I'm Lara, 17 years in supply chain, from enterprise companies moving $500 million in product down to DTC figuring out their first container shipment. And I can tell you, with absolute certainty, inventory is the #1 cash killer in DTC. Bad marketing, not high CAC, not your ad agency, inventory. And nobody talks about it. You know why? Because inventory feels like an asset. You can see it, count it, touch it. It's sitting in your warehouse looking very impressive. And here's the thing nobody tells you. You can't spend it. You can't pay rent with 3,000 units of a face cream. Your landlord doesn't accept pallets. So let's talk about what's really going on and what you can do about it right now. Here's the reframe that changes everything, and I want you to really hear this. You didn't invest in inventory. You lent money to yourself. And that loan doesn't get repaid until someone buys it, until a customer swipes their card and that unit leaves your warehouse. That cash does not come back to you. Every unit sitting in your warehouse is cash you cannot use. Can't pay yourself with it, can't run ads with it, you cannot hire with it, and can't invest in growth with it. I work with founders all the time who look at their Shopify revenue and think, we're doing great. And they are on paper. But they're stressed. They're pulling credit lines. They're scrambling to make payroll and they can't figure why. 9 times out of 10, the answer is sitting on a shelf in their warehouse. Literally. The cash is right there. It's just shaped like product. So when we talk about inventory management, we're not talking about counting things. We're talking about cash management. We're talking about how fast you can turn product into money that you can actually use. That's the game. Okay, let's do the math because I love this exercise. Your bank account says 20K, your warehouse says 200K. Guess which one pays rent? The 20K, that's it. That's what you've got to work with. The 200K is real, it exists, but it's locked up. You cannot touch it until it sells. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most DTC brands turn their inventory 2 to 3 times per year. That's the industry average. You know what that means? Your cash is trapped for 4 to 6 months before it comes back to you. Think about that. You place an order in January, you don't see that money until May, maybe June. Meanwhile, rent is due, payroll is due, your ad spend needs funding, your product developer needs paying. Meta doesn't wait for months for you to sell through inventory. And here's the thing, most founders don't even know their inventory turn rate. They've never calculated it. They're making 6 and 7 figure purchasing decisions based on a feeling. Let me give you the formula. It's simple. If your cost of goods sold is 600K a year and your average inventory value is $200K, you're turning 3 times. That means every dollar you put into inventory takes about 4 months to come back. And if you're turning twice a year, 6 months. That's half a year your cash is unavailable. So when someone tells me, we have a cash flow problem, I say maybe, or maybe you have an inventory velocity problem. And those are very different problems with very different solutions. I wanted to tell you about a founder we worked with. She's proud and honestly, she should have been. She built a real brand, beautiful product, loyal customers, doing about 3 million a year. She had 8 months of stock on her hero product. 8 months. And she said it like it was an achievement. will never stack out. And I get it. If you've ever had a stack out during a big promo or a holiday season, that fear is real. It's painful. So the instinct is to overbuy, build the buffer, or feel safe. But here's what 8 months of stock actually looks like when you zoom out. 180K locked in one product, cash she couldn't touch. On top of that, she was paying roughly 2,800 a month in warehousing fees just to store it. That's almost 23K a year to babysit product that was going to sell eventually anyway. And here's the part that hurts the most. She had a new product line she wanted to launch, a complementary product her customers were literally asking for. But she couldn't fund the development or the first production run because the money was sitting on pallets in warehouse in New Jersey. That's opportunity cost. That's the invisible cost of overbuying. She wasn't wrong for wanting to protect herself from stock outs. She wasn't wrong for not doing math on what that protection was actually costing her. Safety stock is smart. 8 months of safety stock is expensive paranoia. Okay, now that you understand the reframe, the inventory is cash, not just product. Let's talk about the three traps that keep DTC founders stuck in the cycle. I see this every single week. Trap number one, the just in case trap. This is the one I just told you about. Safety stock is smart. I will never tell you not to have a buffer, but I will tell you is that 6 months of safety stock is not a buffer. It's a blanket for it. The right amount of safety stock depends on your lead time, your demand variability, and your acceptable risk of stock out. For most DTC brands, that's 4 to 6 weeks, not 4 to 6 months. Now here's how to check. Tied on cash. I0 SKU. Look at the average daily sales for the last 90 days. Multiply by your lead time in days. Add 20 to 30% as buffer. That's your safety stock. If you're holding significantly more than that, you're in the just in case trap. Trap number two, the MOQ trap. MOQ stands for minimum order quantity. It's the smallest order your supplier will accept. And I watch founders walk right into this trap all the time. Here how it goes. Your supplier says the MOQ is 5,000 units. You only need 2,000. But at 5,000, the per unit price drops from $4.50 to 4.35. So you order 5,000 to save money. You just saved $750 on per unit cost and you tied up $13K in inventory you don't need yet, plus storage, plus the risk that demand shifts or your packaging changes. We're tied on cash. You didn't save money. You bought yourself a cash flow problem to save 15 cents a unit. This is not a deal. This is a trap disguised as a deal. The fix, negotiate your MOQ, tell your supplier you want to start at 2,000 and scale up as you grow. Good suppliers will work with you, and if they don't, that's data too. Tied on cash. The SKU sprawl trap. This one is everywhere. You started with 3 products, then you added a variant, then a seasonal color, then a bundle, then a limited edition. Then someone said, we should do a sampler pack, and now tied on cash. Here this. 50 SKUs means 50 piles of trapped cash, 50 things to forecast, 50 things to reorder, 50 things taking up warehouse space, and I promise, 80% of your revenue comes from maybe 10 of those SKUs. We're tied on cash. Vanity SKUs, they look good in your product catalog, they make your brand feel full, but they are actively draining your cash and your operational capacity. I'm not saying kill them all. I'm saying be honest about which SKUs earn their shelf space and which ones are just renting it. Run your 80-20. Know which products are actually paying the bills. Okay, homework time. And I know you didn't come to YouTube for homework, but this is the kind of homework that might free up 30K, 50K, even 100K. So bear with me. This weekend, grab your coffee, open your inventory system or your spreadsheet, and answer these 4 questions. That's it. 4 questions. 30 minutes. Not units, dollars. What's the total cost of everything sitting in your warehouse? If you don't know this number off the top of your head, that's the first problem. This is the number that tells you how much your cash is locked up in product. Take current inventory for each SKU and divide by average monthly sales. If any SKU is above 3 months, flag it. If it's above 6 months, circle it in red. That product is eating your cash. This is your aging inventory. Product that's been on the shelf for 3 months or more in DTC, aging inventory is a flashing red light. It's depreciating. Trends are shifting. Packaging gets scuffed. That money is eroding. This is the most important question because it connects the math to the motivation. Would you fund a new product launch, increase ad spend during peak season? Can you hire an ops person? Pay down a credit line? Pay yourself more? Write that answer down. What's your why? That's what makes the next steps worth doing. 4 questions, 30 minutes, and I guarantee you'll see your business differently when you're done. Here's what I want you to take away from today. The goal isn't more inventory, the goal is faster inventory. Faster turns, faster cash conversion, faster decisions about what to order, when to order, and how much. That's what separates the brands that feels like they're drowning from the brands that feel like they're in control. It's not revenue, it's velocity. Now, this is just the beginning. This month, I'm doing a whole series on getting your cash out of inventory. And here's what's coming. Week 2 is the cash conversion cycle, the number you've probably never calculated but absolutely should be tracking. Week number 3, the reorder timing system that stops the bleeding and takes the guesswork out of your purchasing decisions. Week number 4, how one brand freed 120K in cash without selling a single extra unit. True story, and you're going to love it. If this was helpful, subscribe. Seriously, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series. Each video builds on the last one. And if you want this kind of thinking in your inbox every week, I write a newsletter called Unboxed Weekly. It's free. It's 1 email a week breaking down one supply chain concept that actually matters for your bottom line. The link is in the description. Do the audit this weekend. Screenshot your answer. Drop them in the comments if you're feeling brave. I read every single one. So you're not cash poor, you're inventory rich. Now go get your money back. I'll see you next week.